Hey guys, so this is my hair. I moisturized it last night and it's in this curly little puff that I have right here. I parted it in the middle. So I also want to show you what I'm wearing. So I'm a little fashionable today. So I'm wearing a floral dress with, if you can see that, a little high heel sandals, open toe, with this brown belt around my waist to give like a slimming look to me. I just ate, so I am a little bloated. This is how I look without the food in me. This is how I look now with the food in me. But yeah, so I got a little high waist. And I got this white shirt on. I got a gold bracelet, which if I may be honest, I borrowed from my mother. So it's life. And I have on a gold necklace that goes with it, which also belongs to my mother. So, um, this is just an addition to the henna. My hair color, I don't see much right now, to be honest. Once again, my henna was really liquidy. I did add tea to it to try and bring out some of the dye. Um, but it was really liquidy. What can I say? I don't think my hair color's changed too much. Once again, this is just the first day. We'll see within I believe, if I remember correctly, 4 days. They said that the dye will release within 4 days or something like that. So I'll tell you. So I'll make another video to show you guys. How it looks within 4 days and how it's looking. This is how it looks right now. And once again, how the color looks. It's basically normal color, basic normal brownish reddish color in the light, if I may be honest. Yeah, basic reddish brownish color in the light. And the sunlight, it looks bluey like usual. So that's how my color looks. It's been a really tough day. This is going to be a life episode basically. It's been a really tough day. Um, to be honest, I forgot to do an essay that is very critical for my grade. Um, so if I may be honest, I might fail my first class. Sadly enough to say. There's nothing I can do about it. I cried about it already. I told my parents. My parents basically told me, my dad was like, I failed the class. Your mother failed the class. So don't feel too bad. Just keep going on. Keep doing what you're doing and just keep working and, just keep going. And, I told my parents, I was just like, I feel horrible. To be honest, I have been slacking a lot for these finals. Last year, I was on my game. I was passing all my finals. That's how I got up on the dean's list. That's how I got a 3.0 GPA. And, and I was just doing my best. This year, it's been really rough with the classes. The classes have been beating me up. And then I guess once I came towards the finals, I just got into that mindset that just basically said, I'm finished. I'm done with school. I don't want to deal with these people no more. Just give me my grade and let me go home. Um, and I forgot to do an essay. And I remember him saying that if you don't attempt the essay, then you're going to fail. So I, so I thought that I failed the class, and I told my parents, and I was crying on the phone because, I just basically told them I couldn't do it. I failed the class. If I don't turn in this essay, I failed the class. And I emailed the teacher, and I basically told him that I will accept my F. I understand. I simply forgot to do it. I was too embarrassed to come in. Other than that, I learned a lot from your class, and thank you for teaching me. And my teacher basically messaged me back, and he basically said, thank you for the email, and you didn't fail the class, you just failed the essay, but you can still do the final exam. So maybe I might get a C, a low C. because if I get a low C, that would make me very, very happy. You have to understand that would make me extremely happy if I get a low C. I hope I don't get a D. If I get a D, I mean, I guess that's better than an F. It's true, it is better than an F, but I really don't want a low D. I want a C. Okay, I would rather pass with a C than to pass with a D in this story. So, so basically, that's what happened. Um, I am living so far. I'm still in the mindset where I'm pretty much done with school. I want to get out of here so 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 very bad. It is just driving me nuts. I am done. I am done. Like, you don't understand. People don't understand how done I am of Montclair State University. If I could transfer to another writing program somewhere else just to take a break from the school, I would do it if I had the funds and the time and the effort to do it. But I don't, obviously. So I'm stuck here until I graduate. Um, but I'm really happy. I really am happy. I'm happy for, that my hair isn't damaged. It is pretty healthy looking. It's got a little shine to it. I got some heater still in here. Don't worry about that. Don't worry about that. It's spring outside. The flowers are blooming. They'll just think it's the flowers in my hair. Anyway, but 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 it's been a pretty good day, and and um, I feel beautiful today. I don't feel so much like a failure. I basically passed my speech class. The only, I passed my speech class. I'm going to get a B in that class, if not an A. So I am excited, excited, excited to see the final grade for that class. And I have a B in my intro to marine. Because I'm saying a B because I already have a 76.4. He's letting me do homework late, which means I could bump that up easily to 78. And if I get a B on my final exam, boom, sucker, I got a B in that class as well. So I have an A in my speech, I have a B in my in my intro to marine. I'm pretty sure I'm going to get a B in math. That means wonderful, because no more math classes for me. So booyah. I avoided the statistics route. I know a whole lot of people that's taking statistics because they need it for their math requirement. I was like, forget it. If I could pick another class other than statistics to fulfill this math, I'm going to do it. End of story. So that's what I did. I ain't taking statistics. Bump that nonsense. Way too many numbers. Way too many numbers. Never liked math. Never will. Alright, but I know the basics of how to go through life. So I'm gonna get a B in math. So far I'm gonna get an A musical theater. Yeah, like I can see myself with a 2.8 by the time I finish, which is not as bad as I thought it would be, if I may be honest. And even if I still get a D in my African Black Writers class, I can still get a 2.5, which means next semester I could get that easily back up to a 3.0, and if I keep going, I could be at a 4.0 by my graduating year. Perfect score. Even with the two D's in there. Yeah, I have two D's. Psychology. I did not like that class. It was way too big. It was too impersonal. The assistant spoke a different language. It was bad, okay? It was bad. But but once again, I'm not putting out the message that, you should barely pass your classes. I'm not putting out that message. What I'm telling you guys, the public, the people who see this, who hears my making it through story, through college, just understand this. If you fail a class, remember this. It's one class out of possibly, I don't know how many classes you'll take, what, 20 classes? One F out of 20. If you get A's on everything else but an F in something, it's not the end of the world. Plus, you can always retake the class and get a higher grade. Does that mean that they'll ignore the F that you earned before? No, no, no. They're not going to ignore the F. Absolutely. They will not ignore the F. But what it does mean is that if you retake it, it just shows that I failed last time, I retook the class, I did better, and it just shows that I have a newer understanding of this class. So somebody points that out to you, just be like, you see this? I retook it and I got an A. That means I retook it and I fuller understand it, and now I have a fuller grasp on it than I did back then. Plus, you also remind them that it's college. There is no resting point in college. I think the only resting period you have in college is freshman year, and that's about it. But from sophomore year to senior to super senior or super senior, whatever year you graduate, it's not resting. You're always moving. You're always in a tense situation. You're always going to pull out your hair, and you're always going to feel as if you want to jump off the top of a tower somewhere. It's college. That's just how it is. So if you don't do so well in a class, don't worry about it. I mean, worry about it because you understand where you failed and you understand how you can do better. Worry about that. True. But at the same time, don't be ready to drop out of college just because of one failed thing. Don't be ready to give up on life because of one failed class. Don't be ready to just throw in the towel on even that class. Go ahead, retake the class if you want to. Read over the notes that you put in there. Read the notes that your teacher did. Rewrite. Even if you're not turning it into the teacher, rewrite it. Hand it to your mother, your father, some writing person out there. Do something. Like if you fail, it's okay to fail. Everybody fails. I mean, let's be honest. Abraham Lincoln, like I remember reading failure stories of very famous people. Before Abraham Lincoln was president of the United States and one of the beloved presidents of the United States and one of the most remembered presidents of the United States, he worked at a postal office, and he sucked. He sucked at it. Bill Gates, well, we don't even need to talk about Bill Gates and his history. I mean, that guy didn't do so well in college either, but now he owns a multi-million dollar, basically billion-dollar company. Like, there's plenty of things people messed up at. I'm sure Einstein failed at things. I'm to be honest, when I look at his here, I'm pretty sure he can't cook that well. But you never know. What I'm saying is this. Everybody fails sometimes. Everybody is going to fall. Everybody is going to mess up at something. Everybody is going to be in a place where they're going to mess up. Even the smartest people in the world messes up at something. Either number one, they might know, physics like the back of their hand, but they can't cook, or, they can't fish, or they can't draw, or they can't write, or they can't play piano, or something real stupid that you think they will know, but they don't know. What I'm trying to say is this, is that people mess up, and it's okay. Cry a little, be sad over it a little, but don't let it control your life. I remember I told somebody yesterday, one of my old classmates, she came up to me, and to be honest, I didn't really recognize her at first. I was like, who's this chick coming up to me? And then I was like, oh, she's in one of my classes, and she just started crying. And, she told me about her. I ain't telling you her relationship. Even though you don't even know her, I'm not even going to tell you her relationship. But all I'm telling you is she had a problem in a relationship, and I basically told her what I should have told myself. Don't jump to conclusions. Even though something looks bad, and even though, maybe somebody said something that was horrible, don't immediately jump to the conclusion that they're a terrible person or that you need to point out every single flaw in them. When it comes to my relationship with my boyfriend, there are times where he gets on my nerves. There are times where he will do something or he will say something, and I will get angry at him. But then at the same time, you also have to remember that you are two different people, and that what he might say and what he might do might be okay with him, but it might not be okay with you. And you have to kind of accept that you're two different people. There's only so much you can compromise until you're basically forcing somebody to become you. Plus, you also have to remember this, is that if you're going to point out the flaws in somebody, you have to point out the flaws in you, which means for every single person you saying, oh, she's this, or she's bossy, or she's nosy, or she's that, and she's that and that, you have to point out every single flaw within yourself. I have learned that so many times I will go up to people, I will think this about people and I'll say this about somebody, especially people who gets on my nerves or people who's angry at me or people who I believe see me in a light that's very bad, like even like I'll put this example out there. Like every single time when my parents lectures me, I come up with 1,000 things of why my parents should be lectured instead of me being lectured. Okay, like I'll say, well, you have a bad attitude. Well, if you did this or you did, and I could come up with a whole entire list. But at the same time, but I have taught myself is that if I'm going to come up with a list and if I'm going to see this person as a bad person, I have to see the bad person inside myself. And that sometimes what people say or what people do also kind of depends on how you treat them. That sometimes you can say something that will tick somebody off, and therefore they become offensive and hurt you because you hurt them first. Many times we get caught up in our own consciousness, we get caught up in our own stories and our own lives that we forget that there's other people who's just like us, who thinks that they are just as much as the center of the universe as you are to your own self. We forget sometimes that people have emotions, that people think. Sorry, this button's coming on and I don't want to pop out the boobage. that people, anyway, that people have their own emotions, they have their own thoughts, they have their own consciousnesses, and that if you say something that could offend them, they're going to defend themselves. And it might hurt you, it might not hurt you. I don't know, but sometimes you do have to realize that. And this all links up when it comes to failure. Like, don't think that you're the only person in the world who's failing, because you're not. Everybody is failing every single day. Every single day. Everybody is failing. Even Stephen Hawking and all of his geniusness and his intelligence and his theories is failing at something because we are humans. We fail at life. There is nothing we have perfected so much so that we can say they are a perfect human being because we are just failures. So don't be afraid of being called a failure because you did something by mistake or because you failed at some event, or because you can't sing like somebody, or because you can't do like, or you can't do math like somebody else, or you can't write a sentence like somebody else, or you can't cook a meal like somebody else. Everybody fails at something. And that is what makes human life so important. Because, in essence, you kind of need somebody not to be so good at something so that somebody else who is good at it fills the crack. If somebody in the world was perfect at everything, there would be no use for any of us for that matter. In fact, you might as well just eradicate the rest of us. The reason why there are so many humans, the reason why there are so many people talented at so many things, so many different things, is so that we can fill the cracks. If one person is perfect at everything, then what's the use of me being here? What's the use of you being here? What's the use of any of us being here? Obviously, we're here to fill the cracks because each of us has a failing that somebody else can fill. So think about that next time you fail a class, or maybe you mess up, or maybe if you're even feeling alone. You're not alone. Everybody suffers. Everybody goes through trials and tribulations. It's just life. I mean, Stephen Hawking has his disability, but he's still a great man. Is he a failure because he has his disability? No, he isn't a failure. And if you're Christian or Muslim or Buddhist, are you a failure for believing in religion? No. It's just you have a different perspective on life. I mean, if everybody was just out for themselves, this world will go to crap real quick. Like, thank God for religions that says, no, look out for your brother, look out for your sister, because they matter just as much as you do. There's a purpose for everything. That's what I'm trying to say. And if you fail, maybe there's a purpose in it. Maybe it will show that this is something you need to work on. Or maybe it will show that maybe this is just something that you kind of need help with, that somebody else is better at. That's all I gotta say. So that's my ideas on failure. See you guys later. Bye.